contact fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Brittney Griner was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark, and pretty obviously doing so.
Is the WNBA dangerously morphing from a professional sports league into a high-stakes reality show where the scripts are bad, the rules are optional, and the egos are completely off the charts? It feels like we're watching a full-court press of entitlement, where accountability is vanishing faster than viewers on a bad night.
By sports reporters, well, it seems that the WNBA is, well, we know it's not a serious league, but it seems like maybe they are trying to hide something. They certainly do not want anybody with an opposing viewpoint covering their league. Now, mind you, this is a league that's never turned a profit. This is a league that, even with Caitlin Clark having joined this league last year, lost $40 million. Now, they got a new media rights deal coming, and that's going to bump up to about $220 million a year. But even that won't matter if something happens and Caitlin Clark's ratings disappear.
What truly happens when the whistle blows, or more often, when it doesn't, with new stars igniting an unprecedented inferno of public interest, a darker, more unsettling undercurrent of controversy, questionable conduct, and simmering resentments now threatens to overshadow the very game itself. Buckle up, because this isn't just basketball anymore. It's a drama where the stars think they're untouchable.
In a viral clip, after she made a foul play, Griner appears to mouth something rather controversial. It might be, though we don't know, trash and possibly white girl. Others have suggested it might be trash and whack call. We don't know what she's mouthing, but she seems to, have a mouth on her and not exactly be in the gratitude space. Griner herself hasn't commented. Now, why is that?
At the swirling vortex of much of this on-court chaos stands Brittney Griner, a player whose style has been described less like strategic basketball and more like a human demolition derby in size 17 sneakers. It's not merely her imposing physical presence, it's the repeated incidents that leave fans gasping and analysts scrambling for explanations.
I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Brittney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find
the most explosive of these moments, and one that sent shockwaves through social media, involved rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Following a contentious foul, Griner was caught on camera appearing to mouth something deeply offensive. Lip readers and outraged fans insist the words were trash effing white girl, a slur of shocking audacity.
I wanted to talk about this man, because she is a man. He is a man. Okay, so Kim, you put this in the chat to talk about. Do you know the context for this Brittney Griner video here?
Oh, other than her just being a ridiculous bitch. I mean,
what the hell is her problem? Like, she has been handed
what
world.
Happened? She was handed the most privilege that she.
Oh, baby cough.
She was handed the most privileged situation in the entire world. We literally traded a war criminal for her worthless ass.
While some defenders suggest she might have said trash and whack call, the WNBA's profound silence on the incident has been deafening, acting as gasoline on an already raging fire of speculation and fan fury. Is this an isolated, heat-of-the-moment outburst, or a disturbing glimpse into a pattern the league is uncomfortably willing to ignore? The questions don't just echo in the arena. They follow Griner from a past impossible to shake.
Broke her ankles.
No, not at all.
She threw herself on the floor.
This is theatrics. This is a theatrical production. She throws herself on the ground.
And they gave her like one of the biggest foul calls.
Just emanated off of her and made me fall onto the floor.
Wow.
I fell under the weight of my Great Depression.
Maybe fingertips, but that's it.
That's why Caitlin Clark freaked out. She's like, are you kidding me? I didn't touch her.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't even touch her. And they keep doing this to her. There was like a big fiasco going on with her and Angel Reese again. And like Angel Reese threw herself on the floor last week. And everyone was saying that Caitlin Clark threw her on the floor and she didn't even barely even touched her. But then they can literally shove Caitlin Clark to the ground and don't get called. The foul doesn't get called. So you want to tell me it's not a black and white issue? It's obviously
That ominous shadow stretches all the way back to her infamous detention in Russia. What began with vape cartridges allegedly containing cannabis oil quickly spiraled into a geopolitical saga, a high-stakes drama played out on the world stage, far removed from the hardwood courts she once dominated.
Flag you. Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the fuck! Get the hell out of here, yo! Yo! Jab stepping, it's a brick. Swing and a miss! Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
The resolution was even more controversial, a prisoner exchange that saw Griner return to American soil, but at the staggering cost of freeing Victor Bout. Known internationally as the Merchant of Death, Bout is a notorious arms dealer whose release sent shivers down the spines of international observers, who feared he would quickly resume his deadly trade.
And it's just a big commotion. So I was just letting the fans just kind of relax. Like we're not here to hurt anyone. It's a basketball play, and that's what it's going to do. We're going to continue to make basketball plays, and it's going to be physical, is what we're trained to do. But that was my biggest thing, was just kind of be a fan. Yes, cheer for your team. That's okay. But at the same time, this is our job. I'm not going to hurt E-Dub, and she knows that. I'm actually checking to make sure she's okay. So I don't like the instigating. It doesn't help our game. It doesn't grow our game. So that's what I was telling people, just to kind of relax. Like, it's okay.
While some media outlets attempted to frame Griner's return as a triumphant red carpet comeback, a hero's welcome, a vast portion of the public reacted with deep skepticism and outright anger. They didn't see a martyr, but someone whose questionable decisions led to a trade many found morally reprehensible, creating a felonious energy that now seems to cling to her public persona. This cloud now darkens every game she plays.
This league, but it seems like maybe they are trying to hide something. They certainly do not want anybody with an opposing viewpoint covering their league. Now, mind you, this is a league that's never turned a profit. This is a league that, even with Caitlin Clark having joined this league last year, lost $40 million. Now, they got a new media rights deal coming, and that's going to bump up to about $220 million a year. But even that won't matter if something happens and Caitlin Clark's ratings disappear.
Into this already turbulent environment stepped Caitlin Clark, the Golden Goose, whose arrival wasn't just a debut, but a seismic cultural event. She single-handedly ignited a wildfire of interest, sending WNBA ticket sales and viewership numbers into the stratosphere, captivating a nation with her almost supernatural talent.
Griner just called Caitlin Clark a trash effing white girl. Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Brittney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration out on Caitlin Clark. If the roles were reversed, imagine the type of field day the media would be having right now. Let's all remember the character of Brittney Griner. This is the same woman who got caught smoking weed in Russia and was jailed. And then Joe Biden made a trade for the Merchant of Death and returned him back to Russia for him to continue doing the same shenanigans that he was doing before he got arrested. He sold $10 million of arms to the Houthis. You think this?
But instead of a welcoming committee, Clark appears to have been thrust into a gladiator's pit. The reception from some league veterans has been chillingly hostile, marked by overtly physical targeting, a relentless barrage of hard fouls, and a pervasive dismissiveness that feels less like competition and more like a coordinated campaign of bullying.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year. Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. She's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who
Right now, Caitlin Clark isn't just facing defenders. She's fighting against a league that seems unsure.
We're witnessing hip checks that send her sprawling out of bounds, elbows that seem to have a GPS lock on her, and an overall welcome to the league rookie treatment that bears a disturbing resemblance to a hazing ritual designed not to test her mettle, but to break her spirit before she can truly ascend.
She's the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially.
The sheer aggression directed at Clark is startling. It's as if every game is an audition for the role of enforcer, with Clark as the unwilling target. This isn't just tough defense. It's a pattern of behavior that has many wondering if there's an unwritten rule. Make the phenom pay. Make her hurt.
Basketball talk, but we've got to go back to Caitlin Clark just for a second. So she breaks the record, or I guess tied, technically, for most 20-point games and 10 assist games. And she's played one season.
Yeah.
One season. Against Taurasi and another player who played how many seasons?
15.
Right. And you're not telling me that this is not the best player in the W.
This brings us to the baffling enigma of the WNBA's officiating, a perplexing theater of inconsistency that has fans screaming at their screens and seasoned analysts openly questioning the league's fundamental integrity. The disparity in calls is becoming impossible to ignore and harder to explain away. When Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest new star and biggest draw, drives to the basket, she often endures a gauntlet of physical contact, shoves, grabs, and body checks that would trigger immediate whistles and potential flagrant fouls in almost any other basketball context. Yet frequently, the ref's whistles remain stubbornly silent. Conversely, the slightest bit of contact initiated by Clark defensively can result in an instant foul call, often accompanied by dramatic, almost theatrical reactions from her opponents. This glaring double standard has led frustrated observers to coin the term Caitlin rules, suggesting a bizarre alternate reality where the league's most valuable asset is also its most inexplicably unprotected player. What's behind this refereeing riddle? Are the officials simply out of their depth, succumbing to incompetence? Are they intimidated by the league's established veterans and their aggressive tactics? Or, more disturbingly, is there an unspoken directive, a subtle pressure from higher-ups to level the playing field or protect the old guard from this dazzling new force? This officiating mystery feeds directly into a larger, more troubling narrative, that of an entrenched old guard seemingly determined to dim the incandescent light of the league's most promising new talent. The resistance is almost palpable, a wall of resentment that Clark continually crashes against. The old guard mentality, reportedly exemplified by established figures like Aja Wilson and visibly demonstrated by others on the court, appears to view Clark's meteoric rise not as a rising tide that lifts all boats in the league, but as an existential threat to their own status, their spotlight, and their established territory. The well-worn sports narrative of paying your dues and respecting the veterans, while common, seems to have curdled in this context into something far more toxic. It feels less like mentorship and healthy competition, and more like overt gatekeeping, fueled by what many perceive as raw jealousy and outright hostility. This internal friction isn't just locker room gossip, it's creating a palpably unwelcoming atmosphere that risks repelling the very new fans the league so desperately needs. The cracks in the WNBA's foundation are becoming alarmingly visible, despite the undeniable Clark effect generating unprecedented media attention and fan engagement. Persistent reports circulate about the league's ongoing financial instability, with whispers of staggering losses continuing even in this supposedly banner year. Adding to the concern are claims that the league is actively attempting to suppress negative narratives and control media coverage, perhaps to shield its image or protect certain favored players from scrutiny. But in the age of social media, such efforts are often futile and can backfire spectacularly. Indeed, the fan backlash is growing louder and more organized. Social media platforms are ablaze with outrage, with hashtags calling for boycotts gaining alarming traction. Viewers who tuned in for exhilarating basketball are now demanding accountability, transparency, and a return to the principles of fair play, feeling they've been served a bait and switch of controversy and questionable sportsmanship. Beyond the on-court clashes and financial woes, there are deeper, more uncomfortable questions bubbling to the surface about the very fabric and direction of the league. These are the unspoken agendas, the sensitive undercurrents often debated furiously in online forums, but rarely addressed directly by mainstream commentators. There are undeniable racial dynamics at play, with Clark as a white superstar in a league that is predominantly black, leading to uneasy accusations of reverse discrimination and targeted animosity. Furthermore, some critics argue the WNBA sometimes prioritizes social messaging and political activism over the sport itself, creating an agenda overload that can alienate fans who came purely for the game. The WNBA now stands at a crucial, potentially defining crossroads. It's a perfect storm of controversy. Brittney Griner's polarizing presence, Caitlin Clark's revolutionary impact colliding with a shockingly hostile environment, layers of questionable league governance, and a fan base rapidly shifting from exhilaration to exasperation. Will the league choose renaissance or ruin, ultimately deciding its own legacy in the annals of sports history?